Hello, welcome to the New Stack Makers, a podcast where we talk about at-scale application development, deployment, and management. Hey, I'm Alex Williams of the New Stack here at DockerCon, where we've done podcasts, we've had a great time, and here with Joe Jackson of the New Stack. Hey, Joe.
Hi.
Hey, it's Alex Williams, the New Stack here at DockerCon in Austin with Jacob Smith of Packet. Hey, Jacob, how are you?
How's it going, Alex?
Real good, real good. So you had a fun dinner last night. There was about 25 geeks in a basement room, just like, you know, I mean, the room was like, was at a pitch.
Yeah. No, it's the internet mafia. That's what it was. Yeah.
So you had a question
Yep.
on your name tag, you asked, where will the internet be in 5 years? Why'd you ask that question?
Well, I think it actually was like, what will it feel like in 5 years?
What would it feel like in 5 years?
And I think, you know, because we're on the side where we're always like trying to figure it all out and trying to make it, that we kind of think about all the details. But, you know, really like when you get here to DockerCon, these people are like interested in what it's going to be like to consume the internet and just deploy their stuff.
Right.
Right? The promise, the dream.
Right.
And so what I wanted to ask while I was here, and I've been just going around sound like a kind of a dork asking everyone the same question, but what do you think the internet's going to feel like in 5 years?
Yeah.
You know, so when you're deploying your apps in 5 years and we've worked out all these kinks, what's
Right.
it like?
Yeah.
And it kind of gets people to stop a little bit.
Yeah.
And think a little bit beyond this year, or what's going on this year or next year.
Right.
And so far, the answers have been, you know, interesting, but mainly when people sit down and think about it, they come back to me a little bit later, and I've gotten the idea that it's going to be, first of all, it's all going to be easy.
It's all going to be simple.
It's all going to be easy.
Okay.
Everything's going to work.
All right.
Right? And that they think it will also be in many more places.
Uh-huh.
So that's the other part we're hearing.
Okay. In many more places then would say that, what do they mean by many more places?
Well, like right now, there's kind of going through this thing where people have their own data centers, if you're talking
Right.
to a big company,
Yeah.
or they're in the public cloud in, you know,
Yeah.
4 or 5
Right.
locations. We had a bunch of people coming up to me talking about federation and Kubernetes, and like, why are you doing that? What's interesting in that? And like, we want to be in many more places, either because they want to protect themselves, they have data privacy issues, or they have a latency issue. You know, they're like, how do I cache my stuff at the edge? It's too hard. And they see like application delivery as an answer to that, and they just need to get like it out further.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was part of it as well.
I think it kind of goes all the way up the chain too, doesn't it? Because I was actually having a conversation with someone in the telco business who was talking about how, you know, there's some telcos, right? Major telcos who have millions and millions of subscribers, right? And they route all their data to one place, right? You know, that seems just like something you would have done, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think the issue with that, aside from like, is it the smartest way to do it, is what happens, like we're based in New York, right? What happens when New York State Senate decides that all that data needs to stay in New York?
Right.
Right? How do you just suddenly re-architect around that? And that's where I think we're going with portability and things like Docker, is that it's cool. It can handle that.
Yeah.
It can handle collecting your data at, in Austin, Texas, versus sending it all back somewhere else.
I think that's probably an observation that I'd be curious to follow is what will the regulatory environment look like, in 5 years,
Yep.
and how will that affect the internet?
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be a big question because I think we're just on the cusp of having this kind of consciousness about those kinds of issues.
Yeah. Well, when people start taxing you on it,
Yeah.
you've made it, right?
Yeah, and when they start regulating what you can develop and,
And maybe Europe's kind of ahead of us in that
Yeah.
standpoint. You see that happening.
Right.
But yeah, so that's the answer right now I've been hearing, is it's going to get easier because all this stuff, all this great work. I mean, you were here a couple years ago for us, for DockerCon, and it felt like early days.
Yeah.
But it's only been 2 years, and now it doesn't feel like early days.
Yeah. Compute everywhere seems like early days.
It does.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
Well, Jacob, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
All right.
Listen to more episodes of the New Stack Makers at thenewstack.io/podcast. Please rate and review us on iTunes like us on YouTube, and follow us on SoundCloud. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.